Peace to the tribe. This is Young Black and Vegan. I am Keith Terrell, and we just gonna chop it up while I'm in the kitchen chopping up some seeded watermelon. I have to re-up. I got one like 2 days ago, 13 pounds, and ran through that. So, I want to thank y'all. We're just under 94,000 subscribers on YouTube, so close to that 100,000 subscriber mark. If you have not subscribed yet, this is your first time on the channel, hit that subscribe button, like, share. It helps the algorithm and then promote the channel. Thank you for those of you who've been sending the super chats and, blessing the show with some monetary support. This is an independent venture and just working on bringing you information, interviews, and just information that can help you to live a healthier, more balanced life. Want to get that out the way, but we're gonna dive into this seeded watermelon, like I said, and I think I picked a good one. Um, yeah, right now, what I've been thinking about is energy. Right now is the time. It's a lot of different things that are happening in the world, and there's so many things that's pulling for our attention and our energy. And the more that we allow these things, sometimes distractions, to pull our energy, is taking away time for us to go within and study self. Um, oh man, look at that right there. So that's a beauty with the seeds. Grab a fork real quick, see if this is sweet. I think it is. It's a little taste test. Let's see. Mm, that's perfect right there. But what I was saying is that right now is the time for us to really be taking the time to go within, to do our work. There will be a lot of relationships for some of you that will be falling away, falling apart, no longer functioning in the ways that they've been functioning in the past because they serve their purpose. And now we're stepping into our true purpose and learning what we really came on this planet to do, if you don't already know, right? So don't be surprised if some relationship that you've had for a very long time doesn't make it through this season. Like it served its purpose, right? A lot of the awakenings and the epiphanies are going to start with the women first and the feminine energy. But I went through my season last year, the pruning season of losing a lot of different relationships. And you know, if you are one of those people who a lot of people turn to and can talk to about anything and you're always there, pay attention because that's also an energy drainer. And sometimes you have to step away, turn off the phone, turn off social media, get into some nature, and make sure that you are filling your cup and getting the things that you need and the messages that you need because life is seasons, right? And so it might be a season where you're needed in that capacity, but if people are always calling on you and they're not actually taking the time to do their work, then you're stepping in and you're actually hindering them from part of the process that they need to go through. So just think about that. Yeah, I've been on this vegan journey now for 10 years. I talked about reasons why I went vegan, worked in the emergency room for 6 years, on the ambulance for 2 years, and, really got to see the long term effects of what you put in your body and how that affects you. And so, my family is from down south. I never ate vegetables as a kid. And I believe, matter of fact, no, I know that me choosing to like adopt the vegan lifestyle as far as food is concerned really helped me with getting to where I am now with just tapping into the knowledge and information that I'm tapping in. A lot of us, our families are religious and mine's was not, but early on when I was 19, like I really was in the church life, and spent over a decade of my life in that. And, that served a purpose, but it was just a season that I needed to go through to get to where I am now, right? And so I've experienced a lot of different things in my life that led me to this place. I've talked about ayahuasca in the past and how that was the best thing that I've ever done for myself, right? But I had to go through everything that I went through to get to the place that I am now. And I know I'm kind of like jumping over the place, just talking about different things, but like I said, we just gonna chop it up while I'm chopping up the watermelon. And so, you know, everything that you're going through, even the things that might not be making sense, um, just keep going. Never give up. If the day just seems like insurmountable, man, sometimes you just need to take a nap. You know what I'm saying? Or go outside, go for a walk, work out, doing the things and developing the tools that will help you to succeed. But the world is not going back to how it was before. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's over. We're stepping into, you know, unknown territory, but it's all for our perfection and for us to be who we are truly called to be, the assignments that we chose before we came to this planet. And yeah, it's an exciting time, but it's always two ways to look at a thing. You can look at it from the negative and pessimistic standpoint and see all of the things that are wrong, but there will always be things that we can look at that are wrong. And on the flip side, we can always find the positive and what's right. So, if you are somebody who typically has a lot of negative or pessimistic thoughts and conversations, take a week and just write down every time you catch yourself saying something negative, and write that down, and then just look at how much energy you're giving to the negative and how could you flip that and look at the positive. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the things that you're going through and that we're going through, you know we asked for certain things and now we got it, and still complaining because maybe the circumstances are not ideal. But man, that's part of life. Life is for learning and development. OG told me that it's all about growth. Everything else is bonus. So if you're alive, you got good health, you got love, man, you're rich. That came to me one day. I just woke up and I was thinking about that, like, yo, I'm really rich and I got all of these things. And when you develop that mindset of gratitude and operating from abundance, that just sends more of that your way. So, those are some things that were on my mind. I haven't done much chopping of this watermelon, so I'm gonna chop this up and dive into this. But yeah, I'm just got some more stuff coming up on the show. Was chopping it up with my homeboy Yancey today. We're gonna get out in the garden. That's his like arena, his expertise, and just kind of talk about how can we cultivate having gardens in our own like yards and homes, and what are things that we can start to grow. And then hopefully we can get the youth involved as well. So if you got kids, if you got nieces and nephews, and teach them, because they're the next generation. And all of the sugary drinks and the processed foods, that is food and engineered things that's keeping them from also developing into the beings that they can be, the powerful beings that they are. So we have to you know hold ourselves accountable for what we're putting in our body, for the energy that we allow into our space, for the energy that we're putting out into the universe. And yeah, everything that you need, you have right now in this moment. And if you think that you don't have something that you need, then that's not true. Think about, what do you need that, what I'm saying, besides air to breathe, to keep you alive, and food to eat, and shelter. If you got that, you're rich. Everything else is bonus. And so, no season lasts forever. So if you're in a low season, a negative season, man, just keep going, because that doesn't last forever. But we have to ask ourselves, am I learning the lessons, or what is life trying to teach me right now? Or do we complain the whole way through and not get the lesson? And so then we have to repeat the lesson. So Nobody wants to be that person that is held back a grade in school. You know what I'm saying? We all know those people. And if you were held back a grade, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you you can't keep yourself from your destiny. Whether you choose to get it in this lifetime or you come back, you can't keep yourself from your destiny. But if you just pay attention to what you're going through and you work on getting the lessons now and ask, what is the universe trying to teach me? You'll get the answer. It may not come overnight, but just start paying attention. The answers most likely are not going to come on social media, although it could, but chances are they're not. They'll come when you get quiet, or when you might be reading something, or you're putting something in your system that is enriching and you're learning. Everything that you come across is not by chance. I had interviewed Tony Broder on the show before, and that was, like, to me, one of the most important interviews that I've done. And I had bought his book, From the Broder Files, and it sat on my shelf for 4 years before I actually, like, read it, right? And then just one day, walked by, picked it up, dove in, and I got messages and things that I needed precisely at that time. And then I reached out to him for an interview. He said yes, flew to DC, and then the rest is history. So, yo, start reading more. I mentioned this book several times on the show. Astrology for the Soul by Jan Spiller. Highly recommend that. Gene Keys by Richard Rudd is a great one. Ask and It Is Given by Esther Hicks is a great book. Uh, Awaken Imagination by Neville Goddard. Great book. It's a lot of great books out there. And so, you know, if you have the discipline and you can, less media, more like books and reading. And there's some good things online as well. People to tap into. Rod Hayes is somebody that I listen to. Savan Bomar or Seven Bomar is somebody that I tap into. And they have a ton of videos on YouTube. So I just gave y'all a ton of tools. Pick some, use them. Let me know if it's anything that you got out of that has helped you. And yeah, let's get into this watermelon though. This seeded watermelon though. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. All right.